Okay, video number 2 for today. Got some objectives that we'll run you through first here, and then we'll try to tackle all of these. So we're going to show you how to import a jar file, which will give you the source code that I've provided you. It's like a half-done thing, and you're going to add code to it. One of the skills that's really important in programming is getting used to code that somebody else made and continuing to work with it. Then we're going to tour you through what code I've provided and what you need to know. And then I'll do an example with you where we flip until we get 2 heads in a row. So there's going to be 2 pieces to that: how to physically add it to the project, and then the actual code that we need in order to do that. So here we go. Let's go to File, Import, and in your general group here, you want a project from an archive. So projects from folder or archive. Click Next. You're going to give it a source here. So to the right side, click on Archive, and now feed it the zip file that you downloaded from Teams. Once it analyzes through the zip here, notice how it picks up this folder here, cp11.probability.drop, as an Eclipse project. That's what you want. So you don't need the just expanded one. Basically it unzips it, and then this is the project that we want it to create. So these are your settings here. Everything else looks good. Click Finish. Now notice in your Package Explorer you've got a new project that inside of it should have 4 source files. The first of which is the form, which I'm going to open up with the Window Builder Editor and flip to the Design tab here. And what you're going to notice here is it's got a number of times that it's going to run, which is called your iterations. It's going to display your last 50, 60, 70, however many results in this text box right here, which is called TXT results. And it's going to have a summary, which is called TXT summary. And on the left side here, you're going to have a series of simulations, which are radio buttons. Notice the RAD here. They work like checkboxes, only you can only pick one at a time. And at the bottom here, you've got a start or stop button and a progress bar that's going to show how it's going. So let's just run this here to have a look at it. So FRM probability, we're going to run it as a Java application. Here it comes up. So this is heads or tails, and click Start. It runs 500 of these, and this basic simulation just flips a coin once, and it either comes up heads or tails. And the goal that we're working towards here is, what if you want to run a whole bunch of these, like 5 million of them, and you click Start. Notice how it keeps running them, showing the last 50. Your progress bar works its way up. It's showing how many have been done. And once you get to the total number, that's 50 million actually. At the bottom here, the index 4999999 is of course the 50 millionth because it started with 0. And our status goes to complete. So let's show you the code that is creating this simulation. So this is the heads or tails question. And what this is doing is, in this simulation, there's a thing in here, while not kill, which will get activated by the stop button. So keep that in there so that you can kill it. And your number of attempts is less than the total that you want to run. So the total, which you'll see here, here, and here, is going to be what's coming from the text box in the interface. And we're going to make 1 line of code to represent the current attempt. It's going to flip a heads or tails with this method called flip. And if you get a heads coming back, then make the current the letter H, and it was a successful flip. It got heads, yay! Or if it was a failure, then it's T for tails. and then you add it to the results. And that is your attempt complete. So in this, we are using attempt as our index. So in the example I ran on the computer here, our attempt went from 0 up to 4,999,9999. And that's basically it. So some of this stuff is being provided to you by questions. So notice how there's a thing in here called results. Well, let's go have a look at what results is. And it's actually in question. So because the heads or tails question does a thing called extends question, notice how that matches with this other file here. So if we open up question, here are some things that are being provided for you. Whether it's running or not, whether it's complete or not, whether it's being killed by the stop button, how many attempts you've made, how many successes you've found, how many total it should run overall, and there's a thing called Results Manager, which allows you to add an iteration to it. And the rest of this, not important. You're not going to make any changes in there, so don't worry about that. Let's have a look at the Results Manager here, and I can jump to the source code of that by holding down the Control key. Basically, it just has a list of strings that allows you to keep track of all of the things that have been created. In here it's called data, and notice how it's got a sub called add. So you're calling add, giving it which attempt number that is, and the text that should be displayed.